everybody, I'm Vicki and welcome back to my kitchen. Okay, we're going to put the low-carb keto lasagna together. And I have a few things that I've prepped and I'm going to show them to you. And I know, how can you have lasagna without lasagna noodles? Well, y'all, I made lasagna noodles and here's how. All right, y'all, let's make a little low-carb lasagna noodles. And it's so easy. I have 4 egg whites. And I have 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, softened. One tablespoon of sunflower seed flour, or you can use almond flour. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's all the ingredients. And we're just going to whisk those together. A small batter bowl is plenty good, plenty big for this. Okay, I think all the cream cheese is mixed in with the egg whites. So we'll come back in a minute and I'll show you how I cook them. In order to make the noodles, we're going to use the electric grill and griddle, and we're going to turn it on. We are going to turn it to griddle. Press once, press twice, let it start heating up. While it's heating up, we're going to quickly spread, because it heats up very fast, a little bit of butter. This will make it come off really easy. A little bit of butter, and you can see that the butter's melting and it's heating up. Now this is one recipe. We're going to start, each layer is one recipe. So if you're doing a big lasagna, depending on the size, you'll need to adjust the recipe. Now an 8x8, one recipe is enough. An 8x12, you'll need 2. Probably a 13x14, you'll need 3. Get it as thin as possible. And bring it down and let it cook. Now when the edges start curling is when we are going to actually turn the grill and griddle off and let it finish cooking and cooling. Okay, the edges are starting to curl. So we're just going to turn the grill and griddle off and just let it cool. Okay, let me show you how easy it is to remove the noodle. I'm just going to take the noodle and wrap it on the rolling pin and just roll it. And the noodle comes right off without breaking. Isn't that a cool tip? Okay, we're going to do a couple more because we're going to make a large lasagna. We'll be back soon. Okay, I have 3 lasagna noodles made because I'm going to make a big pan of lasagna. So I have put wax paper between the noodles. And what I'm going to do is just roll it up, put it in the refrigerator, and I'll use it tomorrow. Yes, I can use it tomorrow. These are great for making ahead of time and have them ready in the refrigerator to use. Well, you saw how I did the lasagna noodles, and I'm going to show you a few little more prep things I did. As we go along, I am putting the lasagna together in our enameled cast iron, large, hey Zoe, in the large baking dish, and it's got an extra deep wall so the lasagna won't spill out and get all over my oven. Kind of messes up my day when it smokes up my kitchen. And I have the, like I said, the lasagna noodles done. and we're going to put it all together. We're working on a little more prep, and I'm grating the cheese. So I love using coarse grater. It grates the cheese a little bit differently, and it has a pretty nice melt on it. And this is the double grater in the catalog. But please, please, please grate your own cheese. Don't use pre-shredded cheese because it's got all of that cellulose and starch on it that they put on there to keep it from sticking together. And it takes no time at all. I mean, this probably took a minute to grate this whole bowl of cheese, and it's about 1.5 pounds of cheese. And we'll have these ready as well to go on a layer. Now I'll show you what they look like. Check this out. Nice, round, even cuts. I'm going to put it together a little bit different than I've put together before, but everybody makes lasagna different ways. But I made Puttanesca sauce, and if you want to see how I make Puttanesca, go to my video library and find it. You can use a regular spaghetti sauce or a marinara sauce, whatever you prefer. I happen to like Puttanesca. And I'm putting a layer on the bottom. And I'm going to put this together really quick because I need to get it in the oven because I'm actually taking it to Mom and some of the girls for supper tonight. Okay, so we've got a layer of sauce. And we're going to do just a light layer of cheese. Not a heavy layer. And I'm going to throw a few black olives in there. I don't always put black olives in lasagna, but I like to play with my food and try new things. And I had some pretty black olives in the refrigerator, in the pantry. So I decided to use them. All right, from here, we're going to put one of the lasagna noodles in. And I'm just going to lay the lasagna noodle in, and remember I showed you how I made them. And I had to cut it in order for them to fit in this pan, and I made 3. So I'm going to go with another layer of sauce. Just a light layer. And I'm going to use this. And let's go with our meat. And here is the meat mixture. Okay, let's work on getting the meat layer done. And I'm doing this a little bit different than usual because I'm actually going to put a meat layer in the lasagna. All right, the way to have nice browning on your meat is if you put it in there and you just let it simmer. Resist the urge to stir it a lot. So I've let it simmer for a little bit, and it's got nice caramelization coming up on the meat. And you can use hamburger or you can use sausage. Okay, I've got some of the mushrooms done, but I'm going to show you the cute little cup slicer, which is probably the coolest thing we have right now. It's in the new spring products. And this is how easy it is to cut the mushrooms. Let me show you. Perfect slices every time. They're just wonderful. I love this little tool. And I'm going to go ahead and put mushrooms in there. Oh, take the bottom, the base, push it on, and it releases the veggies or the fruit, whatever's in here. And that's how quick and easy it is. Now, this is baby portobello's, and I cut some shirataki a little earlier. Okay, and I have some red onions, about a cup. Now this is going to be a large lasagna, so do yours according to the size you're wanting. 8 by 8 will feed a family of 4 to 6, depending on how you eat. But we're just going to brown everything. We're going to put a little salt in it. And a little pepper, and that's really all that we're going to do. So we've got meat, the mushrooms, and the onions. I love using the wok. I use it for so many things. And I got the meat almost done before I put the vegetables in there. Now if you hear the beeping behind us, that's the Puttanesca sauce that's cooking in the multi-cooker. All right, this is almost ready. Look how quick that is. We're just gonna put this whole layer on. Spread it evenly. I usually don't do the meat separate. I actually have some meat in the Puttanesca, but I wanted to see a layer of meat in this one. Meat, and then we're going to do a layer, a light layer of cheese. Kind of gives it some separation. Let's go with the cottage cheese. And I did strain this a little bit. I put a strainer on it, turned it upside down, and let it sit for about a half an hour. Get a little bit of the juice out. You can use ricotta. Ricotta is drier than cottage cheese. It's just whatever you have or want to use. Because I'm doing a large one, let's see, this is a 24 ounce. So there's my layer of cottage cheese or ricotta, whichever you prefer. I don't have ricotta today, so this works perfect. Now let's go back with some more black olives. These are going to taste so good. My mom is a real fan of black olives, so it's going to work out great. A little bit more sauce. Doesn't have to be swimming in sauce, just enough over it flavor. And if you've got some sauce left over, use it, make a little spaghetti for lunch. All right, let's spread that just a little bit better. It's starting to get deep. Just a little bit of cheese for a little separation again. I actually want this to be a layer of cheese. Okay, let's go with the next lasagna noodle. Look at how nice these hold together. I'd love to hear from you if you make the low-carb lasagna noodles. Let me know how you liked them. And then A little bit more sauce. This is a nice layer. It covers well. How about let's put a little bit more black olives. And a lot of cheese. The rest of the cheese is going on top. Now, this is looking yummy. Actually, my house smells amazing because of cooking the Puttanesca sauce and the meat layer. Now, on the meat layer, you can use sausage or hamburger, whichever you prefer. You don't even have to make a meat layer. You can make a layer with onions and mushrooms and maybe zucchini or something if you want to do a vegetarian. But again, this is keto low carb. And it's going to go in the oven. Oh, I need somebody to put it in there for me. Well, okay, it's ready. And it's ready to go to Mom's. So I'm off. Look how beautiful that is. It's heavy. That's a lot of lasagna. As I always tell you, give someone your beautiful smile today. Makes you feel good on the inside. And you know, you just could make somebody's day. Come back and see me often. And check out all my other videos. Click on video on YouTube and check my other videos out. Let me hear from you. Tell me where you're looking at me from. I love you being here. Come back soon.